give us a sense of some very practical resources or ways in which you can go about, educating yourself, picking up the right pieces of knowledge. What's a good, simple way to start?
So, as Lavanya mentioned, investing, making a whole view about what you want to do with your money is very, very important. Simple things, pretty much everyone, a lot of information is now available on the internet. They're talking about mutual funds all the time. They talk about health insurance, how one is better than the other. You know, postpay does not have to have medical tests. There's enough information out there. Read the fine line and understand if it's really for you. Certain things which government policies are, which are standard, straightforward, very, very less risky, and does not require too much of in-depth knowledge, but gets your money working for you, like the postal savings programs, your PPF, your EPF. uh, it's safe, it's enough information out there. You can exit it when you're buying a home, or after 3 years, 5 years, whatever you need. It is a voluntary program now, which is great. And in terms of learning more, I don't follow the stock market myself as much because don't have the time. And so for me, mutual funds work very, very well. Just understanding there are enough debt funds out there. Talk to your friends, talk to people who are active. They'll be able to tell you based on your level of interest and knowledge that 12 months debt funds are good for tax saving, or 12 months, do you want higher liquidity, less liquidity, you're
Correct.
thinking from long term perspective. Just talk to a lot of people there. There are enough people. Even if you don't understand the jargon, try to find someone you can co-invest with, someone who's picking up a deal on a life insurance. Say, what else are you looking at? Do the test together, you and your partner. When he's doing a term insurance, do it with him. you know Jointly you can do a lot more research.
Immerse
and
yourself in it, right? Rather than trying to watch from the outside.
and trying to do everything yourself. What I'm trying to do is, don't try to do everything yourself. There's always something more out there which you haven't read. So when you have someone, two minds reading the same thing have better results. So try someone you're co-investing with. Find friends who have similar interest and the same age bracket, similar, children with the same age group,
Nice
or a partner
choices.
like that. Yes. So I would say make it part of your conversations, rather than thinking about going on the internet and reading about it and getting more confused. So that would be
Yeah,
my suggestion to anyone.
right.
There are lots of tips
I
out there.
think,
Just
yes.
talk about it, make it part of your natural conversation. How will you talk about a new restaurant? Try to talk about a new investment tip.
Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. And yeah, the internet can be a rabbit hole in that sense, right? And Deepika, actually, perfect segue to you, because you with Bases actually look at and manage a large community of women investors, right? Give us a sense of where you've seen those aha moments happen in your community. What are you have now kind of distilled as some of the 4, 5, 6 steps that women need to take to then feel more accomplished and empowered to manage their finances.
Sure. I think so. While Shruti was talking about just consuming content, also, right? I think what we find as a challenge when it came to women, and we were building out our content, was the fact that here's a woman possibly working, running a home with kids, etc. She has 10-15 minutes in her day to learn about money or to spend time on her money. Maybe 10-15 minutes is also an inflated number, but how do we make use of that time for her to make her feel like, hey, in this 10 minutes, I learned like one new concept which is going to help me tomorrow, or possibly like at a later point in life when I want to make a decision with regard to should I even withdraw my PF, right? Like
Yeah.
these are small questions which you'd be surprised that women don't know who I should ask, right? What's the process of like withdrawing my PF? I've been thinking of doing the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana for my daughter. I don't know how to go about it, right? These are things you think that, oh, we all know, or most of us know, but like Shruti was saying, these are very natural conversations when a group of men get together. They're talking about the next stock, they're talking about crypto NFTs now, they're talking about like real
Yeah.
estate investments, but chances are even we, when we get together with our women friends, we're not talking about money because that topic has just been taboo for far too long. And even choices like health insurance, right? This was literally like this morning. we had a young girl, 20-year-old, message us and say, hey, until you all told us, like at basis, I didn't know I need a health insurance of my own. And I'm diabetic and I'm on insulin. And even then, I didn't understand the need for this, right? And my thought just goes to the number of women in the country who are unaware of something so basic and probably don't have resources to trust. Yes, there's someone at home guiding me, there's a bank manager, etc. But I think the problem is that we've not felt so comfortable. And I think moments happen every day. Like literally that message this morning, as bad as I felt about her health situation, was heartening. Now she's covered. Like for a hospitalization, she has an insurance in place. She's not going to have to dive into her investments or savings for it. And like much like what you all were talking about earlier, right? Like investing is not rocket science. The challenge happens when you invest, which is possibly buying an insurance or buying a mutual fund or any other investment, and then try to figure out what role it plays in my life. Versus like working the other way around, like where Lavanya was talking, like just establish context to why you're making investments, right? Is it for a year? Is it for 3 years? Is it for 10 years? Is it matching or meeting some financial requirement of mine? If it's
Goal.
not, yeah, if it's
Yeah.
not, then maybe I need to rethink it. Because literally now I have people write to us, oh, I have these three insurances. I need money for this. How do I withdraw? Versus like, oh, I could have needed the money 3 years later. I should have planned it like in a mix of a debt fund or a balanced or whichever approach.
An investor education and awareness initiative of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.